Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks.
The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Remember when Patrick Allvin told the hockey world, aka the Vancouver Canucks world, that he was looking for the next Dakota Joshua? Well, he wasn't lying, even though he signed Dakota Joshua. What?
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
People, we back doing this. And that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks on Locked On Canucks here at the Don't Doze Art Lab. Yes, the Don't Doze Art Lab, the place that looks after the West Coast bias, just like the Locked On Podcast Network, okay? They told us when we signed that deal. They said, make sure you tell the people that it's your Canucks every day. AKA your Canucks every hour? For real, man. We just dropped an episode, a couple days ago, talking about how, did I say a couple days? I meant a couple hours ago. We just talked about Tom Willander replacing Tyler Myers in March or April for your Vancouver Canucks. That is something else. That is extreme. That is what happens when your Canucks don't replace Nikita Zadorov, and they sign who? Forbert and Vincent Desharnais. Who? The guy that we'll be talking about today. Because I believe he's what Allvin meant when he said, we got to find the next Dakota Joshua. We got to develop pros. We got to make 28-year-olds better. You know what I'm saying? And they're doing an important thing for the whole world, for society, right? Man, oh man, people always saying you peak at 25, 26, all that jazz. No. You can peak whenever you want, especially when you're around good people. And last time I checked, Rick Tocchet, Adam Foote, Sergei Gonchar, and a dude named Yogi are on that bench for your Vancouver Canucks, okay? Speaking of which, Vincent Desharnais, the dude that we signed from the Edmonton Oilers, their seventh D-man, right? A guy who was healthy scratched at parts in the playoffs. That guy spoke with the media after signing a 2-year deal worth $4 million, 2 per, with your Canucks, and he told the people that Adam Foote and Rick Tocchet called Vincent Desharnais after the Canucks sent him an offer. Okay? And I'm paraphrasing, but they pretty much begged him to sign to Vancouver, okay? For real. And I believe that's the case because those two guys, right? Adam Foote, Hall of Famer. Rick Tocchet should be Hall of Famer. They see potential in the 28-year-old who happens to be, 6'7"? The dude's tall. The dude's a project. The dude's more than a healthy scratch, right? And that's what the whole organization thinks, because if they saw him as a 7th or 8th defenseman on a really good team, why would they give him the second year? And why would they, quote-unquote, overpay him? Oh, they overpaid him so they can make sure they got him for the second year. Oh, they overpaid him because let's say they do kill this project. They get an A+. They develop Vincent Desharnais into something else. I'm not going to say they're going to turn this guy into Gustav Forsling. But what if he's actually a competent number 5 D-man? Hey, what if in some way, shape, or other he replaces Nikita Zadorov on that third pairing? What if he does that at the end of year 1? That means for year 2, they still have a pretty good defenseman for $2 million. Now, you can look at that money in a couple different ways, right? Because when Vincent Desharnais signs with the Canucks for $2 million per year for 2 years, I get scared. I look at the free agent list next year, the UFAs, pretty sexy. I also look at the fact that Brock Besser doesn't have a deal. I also look at the fact that after this season, we're going to pay a lot more money for OEL. Why are we just giving random guys $2 million? But again, on the other end of the spectrum, if they turn this guy into a player, a guy who is 6'7", right? If they develop him, if they turn him into the next Dakota Joshua, they get that guy for 1 extra year at a bargain, right? And that's what they're hoping. That's what they're hoping for. Can that be the case? Now, Oilers fans, right? Some of them are sad, right, that they lost this dude. their seventh defenseman. The same dude that, played 78 games during the regular season, but was a healthy scratch, okay? It became quite evident that they couldn't use this guy to move further in the playoffs. A team with Darnell Nurse and Cody Ceci said, no, this guy's not playing. Yes, some of their fans sad that he's leaving. I think that's because of his physicality. And also, if you watch the interview or the media availability that he had with the Canucks, I'll put the link to the bio. You could tell that this dude's just a nice guy. He smiled for the whole 12 minutes. It seems as if it's going to be easy for this guy to be a fan favorite. Very graceful individual, very grateful individual. A good guy in the room. Right, a lot of them sad that he left the Oilers, but at the same time, I've seen a lot of comments and replies to the contract, and you see the same thing over and over, right? It's too much. Too much. $2 million is too much for Vincent Desharnais. You get what I'm saying? This is a project. It's not a slam dunk. It's one that is so fascinating. For a team that lost Nikita Zadorov. What are they going to do with this guy? What is Adam Foote and Rick Tocchet going to do? How are they going to make this contract so worth it? And if they pull it off, like I said, man, Rick Tocchet should be Hall of Famer, man. Can we end this short episode on this note? Man, oh man, Rick Tocchet should be in the Hall of Fame, but man, oh man, if he turns Vincent Desharnais into a top 5 defenseman, put this guy in the Hall of Fame, okay? The development, the nurturing, the tutelage. Look what he did with Dakota Joshua. Hey, look at what those two, Foote and Tocchet, did with Tyler Myers, who is a media darling, a fan favorite. They transformed his life. Look at what this team in season did with Noah Juleson. Again, the language. The delivery must be fluid, must be easy to understand. They are developing in-season professional defensemen, okay? It's pretty effing cool. And I don't want to say this is impossible. I really don't. I want the coaching staff and the Canucks, yes, the coaching staff and the Canucks to shove it up my rear end. Because remember, when Vincent D got signed and I hopped on here, I gave the signing a D+. I want to be proven wrong. And I think it's going to be the case. I believe in this, man. I believe in this. I believe that Rick Tocchet and company on a different level. They're on a different spectrum, okay? We're not used to, again, this level of pedigree with the Vancouver Canucks. It could take some time to get used to, could take some more games to just trust everything. Yes, everything this organization does. Which is hard to believe because we've been traumatized. All in all, Vincent Desharnais, you're the next Dakota Joshua. You're going to prove me wrong. And I'm really fascinated to see your development. For real. Could be a big factor for the success of the Vancouver Canucks. And let's keep it real. After the video that Oilers Nation produced, right? I think that's Network. They just said some foul things about Dakota Joshua, okay? Saying that we're not going to enjoy that contract that he just signed with the Canucks in the near future, okay? They just dropped that video. How funny would it be if Vincent Desharnais, in year 1 of his time with the Vancouver Canucks, was already way better than Darnell Nurse, okay? That's the goal. That's the goal. The goal of this year is for Vincent Desharnais to be better than Nurse. Screw winning the Stanley Cup. I want that to happen. Because F the Edmonton Oilers, okay? Anyways, my name's Kyle Bowen, KYLEBHAWAN. A short little episode. We got the next Dakota Joshua. We got a player that's way better than Darnell Nurse. F the Oilers. One love to the Don'tos Art Lab. One love to the Lockdown Podcast Network. And enjoy life. And trust the process. Trust the Canucks. We got this, man. This is new. This is fresh. We're getting that Stanley Cup. ASAP. Peep.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On